I happened to be walking out of my building downtown when his brother was walking out of the lawyer's building, and I stopped to console. And that's when he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. Either I have to take this over or we have to shut it down. And in that moment, I was like, don't shut it down. There's value there.
I'm not fond of this product, but hey, there's people out there like it. Why the Heisenberg? What inspired it? I gotta know.
Food and beverage is the easiest to get into and the hardest to master. And I mastered food and beverage, and I thought that my skills were just transferable to any business. I don't overly want to focus on the past. I don't overly want to focus on the future. It's about aggregating all of that and saying, what do I want to do presently to experience things and have the highest quality of life and enjoy every moment? Because the pain and the sacrifice was what was done in the past, and it was done so that I could get to a point of... So this is interview number 4 for chapter 2 of documenting the journey. And this is Angel. Hi, Angel.
Hi, Jason.
How long have you worked for me?
Next month will be my 2 years here.
2 years. Okay. When I decided that I wanted to do this, part of mine was my eternal curiosity about the questions that you guys would actually come up with, meaning your own curiosity about me or the brands themselves. So we can dive right into this. What is your first question?
So my first question, okay, got it typed out.
Yep.
Is about one of your businesses. So where did Vickers come from? How did you come up with that?
Okay, so this is part of the problem with entrepreneurship. I don't know if it's you get overconfident, or an entrepreneur can just see opportunities in so many directions in so mane ways. I did business with Vickers for a decade. Vickers was where all of our employee apparel came from. Matt Brake was his name. Matt was a great guy to work with. That's why I did business with him for 10 years. Matt died of a massive heart attack. I happened to be walking out of my building downtown when his brother was walking out of the lawyer's building, and I stopped to console. And that's when he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. Either I have to take this over or we have to shut it down. And in that moment, I was like, don't shut it down. There's value there. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm going to be franchising Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies. I've already bought Scared Rabbit because I wanted to keep the marketing. It was like all of the marketing that we have ever done has been under my purview. And moving into franchising means you have to have a national ad campaign. And I did not want to have to go out and bring in another marketing firm. I wanted to keep control of all of the advertising. So in my brain, I'm like, bringing this business under the umbrella makes sense for the ecosystem of small businesses that I was trying to create, which then led to, okay, well, if we're going to have hundreds and thousands of franchises, they're all going to have a need for company apparel. And that business was a great group of people. The business itself was over 40 years old, and I saw no reason for it to close when I could get involved and wrap it under and make it part of the ecosystem of small businesses that do business with other businesses, and we do business with that business. That's tongue twister. The point is, I saw an ecosystem of small businesses where I felt like my style of how I do business, that Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies was a dual brand B2C, business to consumer. And we've had good success doing business with consumers. Scared Rabbit and Vickers are B2B, business to business. So they do business with other small businesses. I obviously resonate with other small business owners. This was an opportunity to support other small businesses and their needs, and at the same time, support our needs inside of Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies. And it was a mistake. And now I'm making lemonade out of lemons. because it's a mistake that I had to own. I have to own my decisions. And I'm saying that because food and beverage is the easiest to get into and the hardest to master. And I mastered food and beverage. And I thought that my skills were just transferable to any business. B2B is completely different from B2C. And it's not like the skills are not, they are transferable, but it comes down to time, attention, and focus. And the amount of money and time and attention and focus that I have had to pay to Vickers in order to keep that business solvent has taken a bunch of time and money and attention and focus from what is most important, which is Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies. And now it's like I had this vision in my head of what could be, and I'm still moving forward to make it the best that it can be. But in hindsight, I look back and wish that I had never gotten involved, because I feel like I did a disservice to Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies. And I'm just being honest. And I'm saying that because I know that in all of this, that the people that I employ over at Scared Rabbit and Vickers, I don't want them to think that I'm slighting them in any way. I don't want them to think that I don't support them, that I'm not grateful for their efforts. I'm just being honest about the business decisions and saying I never should have got involved because it took my focus away from what is most important. And that is all the pain that went into making Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies the brands, the systems and processes of success that they are. It's time to duplicate that. And because my focus was shifted, I slowed down our progress in the duplication of these brands. So trying to give you a complete answer, it was my heartstrings being pulled on, and it was my entrepreneurial ambition getting out of control. And I can look back and acknowledge that I made mistakes and now say, oh, well, I've got to own it. Now, what do I have to do to keep things moving forward? And Vickers is supplying all of our apparel. And we do business nationwide, and it is solvent. And I'm trying to leave it to that team and to Trish to make it the best that it can be, because I am very much trying to keep my attention focused on Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies. Next question.
This question is about a product. Now, I'm not fond of this product, but hey, there's people out there like it. Why the Heisenberg? What inspired it? I gotta know.
Okay, well, I want to start off by saying that I agree with you. I am not fond of it. But I am not fond of 90% of what we sell. I love our house coffee, and I recognize that the vast majority of people do not drink house coffee. They drink the lattes and mochas. They have more of the foo-foo drinks. The Heisenberg was something that was in the midst of creating the Pizza Junkies menu. We were looking for different themes, and it was Breaking Bad was a very big theme. So it was easy to come up with the actual recipe and the combination, because I go back to my mom. My son makes juicy pizzas. My whole thing is I've always felt like the sauce should be part of the flavor profile. And because we have the salad bar, it opens it up to using ranch to make a pizza, to using Thousand Island. At one point, we tried a Reuben pizza. We have blue cheese. We have mushrooms. I can't even remember everything that's on the Heisenberg, but the two things that I do not, that don't work with my flavor palette, blue cheese and mushrooms. As soon as you tell me that, I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with it. Nope. But there are some people that not only do they get a kick out of it because they're major Breaking Bad fans, there are plenty of people that love blue cheese and they love mushrooms. So to a certain flavor palette, it works very well for them. And again, 90% of what we sell, I don't have any personal affinity to. But if all we did was cater to my taste buds, we probably wouldn't have a business, because I am, in that respect, a very simple individual. I'm a closet foodie. I actually, like, my mother exposed me to many things when we were younger. And I still kind of go back to I'm pretty much a meat and potatoes kind of person. But I recognize that it is about serving high quality products with exceptional service And out of that means of all of our products, we're capable of catering to all of these different taste bud flavor profiles. And that was just what that was a vein of there's demand out here for this. And we carry the products due to selling salads. And because I remember a time when we were just using canned mushrooms because I don't like mushrooms. And I was like, just bring in canned mushrooms. And then we got a couple people in the business that were like, you know, for the people that really like mushrooms, they prefer fresh mushrooms. Okay, well, we serve a high quality product. This is a place where I can make an improvement. So we got rid of the canned mushrooms and we went to bringing in fresh sliced mushrooms. And it allowed us to create a pizza that you will never catch in my hand eating, but we take pride in making it itself. So if you have a flavor profile that you like blue cheese and you like mushrooms, the Heisenberg is going to be a pizza for you. Albeit it is probably not going to be a pizza that is going to appease the 95%, but we've already got the products in here for other things. So having it available on the menu and obviously branded that way just seemed like a natural fit when we were looking for, because the whole thing, my big thing is that I saw Domino's go, we have X amount of toppings, so we can do 1,000 different combinations. Just let us know what you want. And when I watched that advertisement, I was like, that's dumb. But you're gonna pique people's interest, and then they're gonna think about it and they're gonna be like, what do I want? You know what? Just give me sausage and pepperoni. And I thought, no, you have to put flavor profiles together and brand it and say, this is the profile and this is the name. You have to make it easy for people. So they look at the menu and they're like, this topping, this topping, this topping, this topping, this sauce. That sounds good. Oh, it's called this. Make it simple for them. That looks good and it's called this. I'll try that. Don't make them have to think about it. So the onus was on us to say, we've got 50 toppings. We can make thousands of combinations. You're making the consumer think too hard about it. Mm-hmm. Let's just put together a collection of and brand it this way. And the people that resonates with, they'll order it. And that's why you see from time to time, the Heisenberg will be ordered, because you've got those people that I'm like, I don't know where you developed your palate, but I'm happy to take care of them as a customer.
Now I know.
Yes, exactly. Okay, next question.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years, or where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
Where do I see myself in 10 years? I mean, I don't want to be a smart ass. It's more of a thoughtful. I do not see myself growing Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies in 10 years. The amount of stress, the amount of responsibility, it's tremendous. And as we grow, it will only become more. I would like to transition to some form of speaking about the experience of entrepreneurship, because I think that a lot of small businesses could be exponentially better than they are, and they're not doing the necessary things in order to be more sustainable and more successful. I love the educational aspect because I'm like a sponge for information, and then it's aggregating that information to get to refine down to more of a working it into layman's terms and then disseminating good information to help other people be successful. I'm saying it like that because it was just like another question was said, when are you going to retire, or when do you want to retire? And I was like, now and never. There is a part of me that I want to be able to have my hand in this forever. And there is a part of me that I don't want to have my hand in it anymore. I've put 20 years into this. So another 10 years means I'll put 30 into it. I do not want to die leading this. I'm trying to build more of a corporate light structure so that it opens up opportunity in the doors for the next generation to continue to move up, to take more of a leadership role, which also means taking on the responsibility, taking on the stress of managing it, to continue to build off of the foundation that I have built. The only thing that I know is that in 10 years, I only want to do what I want to do. Exactly what that is, I don't overly want to focus on the past. I don't overly want to focus on the future. It's about aggregating all of that and saying, what do I want to do presently to experience things and have the highest quality of life and enjoy every moment? Because the pain and the sacrifice was what was done in the past, and it was done so that I could get to a point of only doing what I want to do and making sure that my time is spent in fulfilling engagement. I love that I'm able to impact other people's lives, but at the same time, I want to enjoy my life. And it ain't no different than maybe I could have a bigger impact on people's lives if I would go spend my time in the desert, but I experience a personal calm besides large bodies of water. 10 years ago, I would have forced myself to spend time in the desert because that was the sacrifice. That was what was best for the business. That's what was required to continue to lay the foundation. 10 years from now, my love, my soul, my heart is being close to a body of water. So likelihood is in 10 years, 80% of my time will be spent beside a body of water, because just simply like I had a houseboat and they were like, oh, did you fish on the houseboat? No, I just sat on the front deck and looked at the water. For whatever reason, I find peace and tranquility in that. The thought of casting a pole means I'm going to get anxiety because I'm waiting on a fish to bite on it. I don't have a love for fishing. It's not even about jumping in and swimming in it. There's something about being on or near or beside a large body of water that just absolutely brings me peace. So I get to when I was married, I had this grand plan, and it was like, I'm going to do all of these things because I have an indication of what she wants to do. And if she's going to be with me in this journey, I have to do all of these things because they're required. And when we get to the point of I can do what I want to do, I'm going to be looking at her saying, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do. Well, that didn't happen. That plan didn't go as planned. So I have found myself more going, well, I don't know what I want to do. So what do I not want to do? I don't want to be in extremely cold weather. So I'm solving that problem. I'm going to Florida in the wintertime because I don't exactly know what I want, but I definitively know what I don't want. So I'm solving that piece. What am I going to do in 10 years? I don't know. I'm trying to keep my options open so that I have options and opportunity. Maybe I find more clarity in what I want. But if I don't, I will always go back to what do I don't want? And I will make sure that I steer away from what I don't want so that I can remain present, enjoying my days, paying attention to my mental and physical health to live the highest quality of life that I can live in a present state of mind, if that makes sense. Okay.
And my last and final question would be, what's one thing that you would have done differently or like changed about yourself? Or I don't know how to word it.
You're wording it fine. I am a very introspective person, and you walk a fine line. When you're that introspective, you walk a fine line on teetering between regret and just looking for the lessons to apply to the next day. I wish that I would have been more introspective earlier because it would have led me to my personal journey for growth, development, education sooner. Because the more time that I spent specifically on my personal growth journey, the quicker that I learned lessons from other people without having to make the mistakes myself to apply back to you and everybody else and the business as a whole. And it was like I didn't truly find my way onto this personal development and growth journey until about 40. Had I found my way there at 30, maybe it wouldn't have taken 20 years to get where I am. Maybe it would have only taken 5 or 10, because one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is you don't have to learn lessons yourself. You can learn lessons from other people. And it was through my looking for podcasts, through my reading hundreds of books that I'm like, extracting lessons from other people's stories and other people's failures that they turned into documented lessons, that I was able to extract that and say, okay, now how can I apply this to my journey? And in certain ways, it's a shortcut, because if you spend your entire life learning only by your own mistakes, it's going to be a very painful life for a very long time. And if you're looking for life hacks, looking to other people and saying, what mistakes did you make? What lessons did you learn? And then taking that and applying it to your own life, right down to, like, I love my parents. I have extracted more lessons of what not to do in life from my parents than what I took from them on what to do. And anybody in life can look out to other people and learn from their mistakes and apply it to your life to get you further faster and to allow you to live a higher quality of life in the now, not still making a bunch of dumb mistakes that you could have just looked at somebody else and learned from their journey. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. My questions. Why do you choose to work for me?
Because I'm scared of you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not fair.
I told everybody I was going to say that just because I thought it was funny. Because of the conversation we had like this last week. Because he does intimidate me a little bit, okay?
But I grew hair back and everything.
But he has hair now, so it's fine.
Yeah, does it help?
But really, I work for you because, I mean, never in a million years, I didn't think I'd be standing where I am right now. I was given an opportunity that I can expand in, and I mean, you've given me really good advice over the past years that I've worked here, and I've turned into a better version of myself. So,
and I'm
right still there, growing.
And all of that, because the thing is, it's like, if I made it my mission that I was going to help everybody grow to become the best version of themselves, I would be miserable, because most people don't want to learn and grow. It's just a fact of life. That's why you have sheep. That's why you have the herd mentality. Most people just do not want to learn and grow. You have taken that responsibility, and yes, I have seen your growth, and for you, I applaud you for that growth, because yes, I'm able to benefit from it, from you being inside of the operation. That's not what it's about. It's about you being happy in your own life. Okay. Why should people patronize Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I can give you an honest answer about that because that's when I first got into business, they were like, you have to evaluate who's your competition. And I'm like, well, if you want to get it down to brass tacks, like it's food and beverage, everybody's my competition. But my competition is Starbucks. And most people are like, why would you compete with Starbucks? And I'm like, because it's one. And you can find out what they do well and look to emulate those things and find out what they don't do well. And that can be your competitive advantage. So I'm like, well, why wouldn't you? Well, there are a lot of people that they walk around and they're like, oh, I got my Starbucks cup. It's a status symbol. And so, no, I'm like, well, yeah, no, you're right. As far as I'm concerned, I wish all of their business would come to us. And when we went through the pandemic, they did come to us.
Yeah, I would say we had a lot.
Yes. And I remember looking at them and saying, that's a mistake, because I'm going to steal some of your customers, that they're never coming back, because they're going to be happier with my service. They're going to be happier with my product. They're going to be happier with my price. But admittedly, it's competition, but yes, I'm sitting there going, when you look at the difference between us and our competition, why would you tell people to come to us?
I mean, we have a variety of everything.
We definitely do.
Because we have people come in here and they don't even know what they want because they look at the entire menu. I mean, when they come in here, we love serving the community with drinks and food. I mean, we treat everybody like family. Something we love to do. We love to see smiling faces come in here.